Welcome to this webinar dedicated to the promotion of the Palestinian Heritage Trail. We are talking about a long-distance cultural hiking route in Palestine, about 500 kilometers long, but we will know more about it from our speakers soon. My name is Nadia Pasquale. I'm a tourism marketing and PR professional, and I'm very happy to conduct this webinar today since we have so many travel companies joining us from different countries in Europe. Today's webinar has been organized by Commerciale Turismo Italia, an Italian company that offers B2B marketing services in the tourism industry, on behalf of CISP, International Committee for the Development of Peoples, within the Cross-Dev project. I will now give ground to Deborah Rezzoagli of CISP, who will present this project for you. Please, Deborah.
Good morning, Nadia. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for your participation to this webinar. I'm going to share a few slides just to talk to you about Cross-Dev project. Okay, this webinar is part of a cycle of webinars through which we want to promote less known tourist destination in the northern and southern shore of the Mediterranean. And it is part of a wider promotional strategy, which includes digital tools, publication, audiovisual materials, and on-site inspections and testing tourist packages developed. We hope that through this activity, and with all of you, we will contribute to concrete and effective cross-border business collaborations, able to identify even new solutions that can meet the needs of marketing beautiful but less known destinations. This webinar, as I said, is one of the many activities that we have been implementing in the framework of the project Cross-Dev, Cultural Route for the Sustainable Social and Economic Development in the Mediterranean, which is funded by the European Union within the NECBC Med program. And it is one of the 4 standard projects on sustainable tourism. Cross-Dev aims at contributing to the economic and social development in the Mediterranean region through strengthening and enhancing sustainable tourism practices, emphasizing common heritage and resources in the less known tourist destination, through increasing the attractiveness of less known destination. We had worked a lot on requalification, cleaning up, and promotion the destination, and through diversifying the tourism offer with niche territorial assets by developing and marketing new sustainable tourist product. What I would like to highlight is that the Cross-Dev project methodology is inspired by the experience of the cultural roots of the Council of Europe. And in particular, we've been working in strict collaboration with the assistance of the Phoenician route and the Iter Vitis. Cross-Dev project is led by CISP, my NGO, and it is CISP. It is an international NGO based in Rome and operating in more than 30 countries in the world. The project is implemented in partnership with, as you can see, many partners. And our partnership is very strong, and we've been really collaborating in a period that was actually very difficult, because the project started in 2019, and then we went through the pandemic and other worldwide events. Our partner are Società Cooperativa Culture, Coop Culture, which is supporting us designing sustainable technological solution for the tourist promotion, and with the Italian Ministry of Culture, which is supporting us in particular on cultural tourism development, and other 4 partners from Jordan, Palestine, and Lebanon, precisely with Jordan University of Science and Technology, with the Association for the Protection of Jabal Musa in Lebanon, with the Royal Marine Conservation Society of Jordan, and with the Palestinian Heritage Trail that you will meet in few minutes. The destination that we are promoting are in Italy, where CISP is collaborating with the Cultural Route of Europe on ancient Via Selinuntina, the road of ancient southeastern Sicily connected to Phoenician routes and Iter-Vitis cultural routes. In Lebanon, we are promoting Jabal Musa Biosphere Reserve, in particular the Adonis Valley, the Roman route in Jabal Musa connected to Phoenician route. Then we are promoting the area of Mkais, historical Roman and Islamic Ottoman city. Aqaba, Ayla Islamic city and its surrounding ancient Aqaba, and Palestinian Heritage Trail. The projects, as I told you, started in 2019 and up to now has developed 11 itineraries of community-based tourism, cultural, food and wine, adventure, nature, sports, and art tourism. We mapped around 26 attractions, 39 experiences were developed, and 31 small municipalities and villages were involved. And we also included in our promotional activities 11 events and more than 125 tourism services. We worked on increasing the attractiveness of archaeological, cultural, historical, natural, and traditional sites. And we managed to involve more than 5,000 people from local communities, media, local tour operators, universities, schools, national institutions, but also artists, journalists, students. We developed a trailer and teasers, and you will have the opportunity to watch 2 of them, and a platform, hiddenmediterranean.net, that I just want to show you very, very quickly, and where you can find a lot of information about the project and about the destination. I hope you can see it. This is our platform, Hidden Mediterranean, where cultures meet. And here you can find many information about the destination, about the project, with maps and also information about experiences, people, and services. You can see different archaeological, natural, historical sites, and study and learn more about events in all the destinations. In particular, we developed different itineraries. Just to show you one of them, the one in Sicily. I hope, yes, it's going to open it. And going through the itineraries, you can also look at different experiences that are linked to the itineraries. Here, this is one of the examples in Sicily, where you can find the map and the description of the itinerary and the different offers for more days packages, and where you can learn more about the places and the experiences that you can do, like preparing and tasting local cheese. You can also find many information about facilities and services available, through which a family, a single tourist, or just a curious individual can check and build up its own its own itineraries. Here you can filter with different destination, and here you can find different contacts of facilities in the different areas. You can visit whenever you want it at mediterranean.net, and you can find also our contacts to ask more informations. So thank you very much for your attention. I give the floor again to Nadia, please.
Okay, thank you, Deborah, for your speech. Very interesting and informative. Let me just add that two travel companies will have the opportunity of participating in a farm trip to each destination. So each destination, there are 5, will host 2 travel companies in a farm trip, in an educational tour for a site inspection and to learn more about the destination itself. So keep following us, stay tuned, and attend our webinar. This is number 4 of a series of 5. You can, of course, see the next one tomorrow, but you can also get the previous ones if you're interested and you missed them. Today's webinar is dedicated to the Palestinian Heritage Trail, as we said. So before I introduce today's speaker, let's watch a 2-minute video teaser just to have an overview of the destination. Let me introduce today's speakers. We have George Rishmawi, who is the General Director of the Palestinian Heritage Trail and our main speaker today. But we also have with us Haida Rahil, cross-dev project manager in Palestine, and Rawan Ahwat, communication manager of the cross-dev project. Before I let them present today's destination, let me remind you that you are invited to ask questions, share your comments and experiences if you have any during the webinar. We will try to answer immediately or as soon as George has finished his speech, but of course you can write using the chat. Or you may raise your hand using the Zoom button and ask your questions. So I now give ground to George, and he will present our destination and the Heritage Trail of Palestine.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Deborah. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure and honor being with you today. In order to save time, I'm going to share my screen so we can start our presentation. We are today talking about the Palestinian Heritage Trail and why do we organize and why do we have a trail in Palestine like the Palestinian Heritage Trail. Palestine is a country of diversity of landscape, flora and fauna, and of course, human diversity and different types of human lifestyles that we have in Palestine. This all exists in along the Palestinian Heritage Trail, that people can come and have a life-changing experience in Palestine. Nobody, a lot of people in the world do not think, cross their minds that Palestine and hiking, Palestine community-based tourism do exist. Most of the people think of Palestine as a religious pilgrimage destination, yet it has a lot more to offer in terms of landscape, hospitality, and cultural diversity. So just to explain to you the destination where we are and how to reach the destination. The Palestinian Heritage Trail is about 500 kilometers in the West Bank. So we are in the West Bank. You can get to the West Bank by coming from either landing in Lod or Tel Aviv airport or coming from Amman across the bridge. If you decide to come from Amman, you can have a mixed experience with Jordan, like in Qais or in Al-Aqaba, or on the Jordan Trail, and then cross to Palestine, or come from Tel Aviv airport, come to the West Bank, and then also go and have an experience in Jordan, or just keep it to Palestine alone. So there are different crossing borders. Palestinian tour operators operate in the West Bank and operate in the entire Holy Land area, contrary to other tour operators. So just to clarify where the destination is. To speak about the Palestinian Heritage Trail itself, the Palestinian Heritage Trail is crossing from northern part of the West Bank, immersing people in a life-changing experience through encountering different types of lifestyle, different types of landscape. Sometimes you can experience 3 types of landscape in one place. So, and we completely depend on the Palestinian hospitality that is offered, which is completely genuine hospitality by the local community. And that is the main base and the main framework for our work. Just to explain to you, I need to remove this a little bit. Can you see the map? The map is showing you, it's all in the West Bank. We are showing you the trail by itself, as the trail do exist inside Jerusalem and connects in Jerusalem. And today our focus will be around this blue area developed by Crossdev project, which is about 45 kilometers and a 45 kilometers experience that is completely rich. We have a diversity of accommodation and guides and so on. So, and this will be dealing with in the next slides. Now, why to come and walk along the Palestinian Heritage Trail? Because we have prepared the trail to be friendly for delegate groups and to friendly for independent travelers. You know, so we are both friendly for groups and independent travelers at the same time. We have all the GPX data and the way marking of the trail. All the trail is way marked, by the way. All of it is way marked using the GR system, Grand Randonnée. And then also there are tons of archaeological sites on the way, and crossing, the trail is crossing about 70 local communities. In the Crossdev project, it is about 16 different local communities that do exist on this segment, that maybe some of you will be able to come and walk through it. And then also connects you with the different major sites like Hebron, Jerusalem, every other place. Along the accommodation, we have different types of accommodation, and also the Palestinian cuisine is very very rich in terms of the food, preparing the food and participating with it, and so on. So all of this makes a unique and a different experience than what normally people know of Palestine. So, and then practicing with the local communities, different types of intangible cultural heritage, that's also very important, like the dances, weddings, whatever it will be available at that time when people arrive. Why the recommended seasons when people can come and walk in Palestine? Normally we advise people, because of the hot weather that we have in the Middle East, is either to come in the spring or autumn. No, summertime is not advised between June, July, August, and until mid-September. It is not advised. Other 9 years long, it is advised to hike in the West Bank. Yet, if people want to come to the summer, they need to walk early morning and later in the evening as well. That there are no restrictions on this. But anyway, because of the people coming from people who are traveling from Europe, they need to come and travel during the autumn and the spring. Even the winter is okay, you know, like December is fine, right? So these are the best days. The trail is about 28 segments, by the way, 28 walking days. Now, along the trail, there are different types of accommodation. So we have the main segment of it, which is accommodation with local families. We have small guest houses, boutique guest houses. We have Bedouin camps, and we have a grotto camping in one segment. So the different types of accommodation that do exist there. For people who are traveling in groups, normally it is advised that they carry on their backpack whatever they need for the day, and then their luggage is transferred from accommodation to accommodation. And of course, the local DMO knows, or the local, the DMC, sorry, the DMC knows how to operate this, and they are used to that. So all of the local Palestinian tour operators, they know how to transfer all the luggage for the people. When they arrive, they find their luggage and to take a shower and to rest and have a meal and have a very good experience. So different types of experiences are put together. So in most of the communities, we try to have accommodation size between 8 to 20. 8 to 20. In the guest houses, we can have more. So, but it's designed to have smaller groups. And I know most of the tour operators, they like to have smaller groups for their walking experiences. In terms of guides, we have two types of guides. We have about 36 licensed trekking guides, licensed by the Palestinian Ministry of Tourism, and that we ourselves worked very closely with Bethlehem University for licensing them. And also we have guides from the local communities, and these guys from the local community, the main aim of them is how to transfer the tourist into a guest and how the service provider will become the host. And this is one of the main principles that we are using with the local community. And the local community, whenever they have any tourist coming, it is considered as a guest. As a guest in our culture, that means you are treated in the best way and offered the best thing, the best food. And this is very important. So all the guides, you can find them in our website, and they all have trekking, wilderness first aid training, leadership training, and they are multilingual. For tour operators, we have a strong cooperation with the Holy Land Incoming Tour Operators Association, and we have signed an agreement with on the side as well with number of tour operators, and you can find them on our website. And all of them are used to trekking, so you can shop within our tour operators website, and you can find them. That's not a problem, and we're happy to give you an advice. You know, it is very important that, as I said earlier, Palestine is well known as a cultural, as a religious destination, but there is a lot more to offer in terms of cultural heritage. So there are many cultural heritage sites that on the trail that are important and normally people do not visit. So people have the time and the experience to learn about the different periods and eras from the life in Palestine, as we Palestinians inherit all cultures and civilizations and religions from thousands of years until today, and that's what makes our culture, heritage, and identity. So people get to see that and experience it along the trail. And hospitality, it is the main base of and the main foundation that the Palestinian people offer to travelers. It's also, it is very important that walking on the trail provides your customers a very good experience through building and developing relationships with directly with the local Palestinian community. The biggest majority of the Palestinians speak English as a second language, and they can communicate with your travelers, and they can be helped, and the guides normally can help and facilitate with that. And this network and these experiences are everlasting. And as you know, one tourism is about human interaction, and that's why we are doing this away from religious tourism in order to create this interaction with the humans, and which is really very important, and to build connections with our people.
George, sorry
yes.
if I interrupt you. There are some questions. Do you mind answering them now?
I need to look at the chat.
I can ask them for you. I can read them. Enrico from La Compagnia del Relax is asking, he says 28 days is a long walk for a holiday. From which part of the trail do you suggest to start? And then a lot of other questions, such as, has it the same difficulties, like every segment, the same difficulties? Could I suggest to my customers to start with 1 week this year and then add another one next year? Are there some highlights we can reach by car to integrate a 1 week walk, like to mix walk and sightseeing?
These are very good questions. I will start like this. No, 28 days is a long distance. So most of the people come on a weekend, leave on a weekend. So so they can maybe take 1 day off from their work in the week earlier, travel through the week, and come back home through the weekend, so they can rest, relax for Monday to go to work. So no, we can give you the highlights. There are many highlights along the trail. Today we are totally focused on the cross-dip segment. The cross-dip segment starts in Beit Mirsim and ends up in Batir, near suburb of Bethlehem. It's about 45 kilometers. And on this segment, people can have about 5 days of an experience connected with visit Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and Hebron along the trail. Yes, this is totally doable. Yes, you can mix between hiking, biking, and visiting, sightseeing. You can hike 1 day and use a bus on the second day. That's also doable. Regarding the level of difficulties on the trail, on our website, we and on the maps and the trail notes, we normally put the level of difficulty. No, there are different levels of difficulties along the trail. Some segments are long and there are ups and downs, and they are difficult, and some trails are easier. But we try to take diversity in terms of one walking day to be a mix of landscape and a mix of experiences. Yes, right. Our website is phtrail.org for sure. The guides speak different types of languages. There are guides who most of them speak English. One speak Russian. Several of them, 5 or 6, speak French, and yes, no Italian, sadly, but hopefully in the future. Yes, so yes, I'm looking at the questions.
Yeah, Umbretta is asking if there are any flight connections with Italy or Europe in general, major airport hubs.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, there are major flights to Tel Aviv and to Amman from different, like Ryanair do fly to Tel Aviv and to Amman, for example. Air Europe fly from Rome to Tel Aviv. So you can connect to Tel Aviv or connect with Amman. There are cheap flights and there are regular flights. So there are, yet we Palestinians, we don't have our own airport. As you know, politically we are under occupation, so we don't have our own airport. So we have to use what is available and to promote our cultural heritage and identity through this. Within walking experience, people can have experience diversity of landscape. For example, in this picture, you can see the water pool. This is in the village of Batir. The village of Batir, for example, they have a very interesting intangible cultural heritage practice of dividing the week into 8 days, for example. It depends where you will be walking.
George, there are more questions. Sombrita
yes,
is also asking if it is ideal for a short break, like what would the minimum stay be for a taste of Palestine and the Heritage Trail?
Yes, the Palestinian Heritage Trail is 28 days of walking, yet you can stay as long as you can, as long as you want. So you can stay for about 1 week, 1 day, 1 hour, whatever you
you can split the itinerary in many different ways.
One other question. Yes. One other question. Do some segments include Christian sites? Yes, there are many Christian sites along the trail in different areas. Yes, because for example,
can you mention some of the Christian sites? Religious sites?
There are many Byzantine sites along the trail, especially in the Hebron area. Hebron area is one of the most important, Byzantine area in the country. And in the Hebron area, we have in a village that there's nobody is Christian. We have the largest baptismal font in Palestine, for example. So there are many heritage sites in Sebastian, the north. We have the place where John the Baptist was beheaded. But depends, but we're focusing on across the project. There are many sites, and we will be passing by. For example, one of the main sites is Qasr al-Murak, or it's a Roman palace from before Christ, actually. So it just shows the transition, actually. Then I have one more question, is that what type of documents people need to come? Europeans do not need a visa to come to Tel Aviv or to Jordan. So I think that is not a problem for us, and one crossing back and forth. From my side also, to come to the West Bank, you don't need any documents.
Okay, so the passport is fine. You don't need any other visas or documents or permits.
No, not at all.
Okay, great.
Not at all. But just to explain this politically, we are under Israeli border control. So when people come through the Israeli border control, they are free to go wherever they want to. In everywhere people go, they can see, as I said earlier, turning every traveler into a guest and offering the best we have through the Palestinian food, culture, and hospitality. And that is really very important to take into consideration. Normally, people do not really see that. I think I have one more question. You're welcome. Yes, I am trying to, yes. And then the Palestinian cuisine, it is very rich. Along the CrossDev, one of the most important success of what we did at the CrossDev project is that we work with different women cooperatives and local communities in developing their representation and working on providing the best Palestinian cuisine that will be available. Some of them can participate in different activities that's regarding the cuisine, like cooking classes and so on. You can see maftool, which is the form of couscous, on the left-hand side of the picture, where the lettuce and then you can see very simple meal or snack we offer in the morning. Sometimes, but we offer a lot more in the breakfast than this. But this is like the homemade bread, for example, that is being offered to the local visitors and guests whenever they are in Palestine. The Palestinian cuisine is very rich, and people can experience it fully, which is, by the way, shared around the Mediterranean. So around the Mediterranean, what we are trying to do with the CrossDev project with all the partners, we are sharing the values and cuisine and cultures around the area. That's why we are working together, and that's why we are successful. In addition to this, through the project of CrossDev, and through the trail, you can experience local traditional music, learn about ancient Palestinian and up till 50 years ago, different types of cultures and so on, and also participate in different types of activities that has to do with handicrafts, making rugs, carpets, or embroidery, or different types of other experiences that people have the chance to do it. One more question I can see.
Yeah.
Anything? Good question. We have developed an 8.5 kilometers in Gaza Strip, but the Israelis will not let you to enter Gaza. It is not on our website yet. So thanks for asking. No problem. Feel free to ask whatever you want. Okay. So this is the type of experience that people have. I think I took a lot more than my time. Just to finish, this is our information. This is our Facebook page, and this is our website, and this is our contact information. And there is a short film. I think Deborah will share it with you.
Yes, I'm going to share it. Thank you.
One of my favorite things to do when traveling is immersing myself in the culture of the society I'm visiting. I'm so intrigued by the fabrics, designs of clothing, social gatherings, and even their uniquely instrumental sounds. And Palestine is filled with incredibly talented dancers, designers, and artists. So here I am, immersing myself in this unforgettable journey. I'm Diana, and I really want to take you to live this experience with me. Besides the moves, the dances, and the music, Palestinians also specialize in making carpets from wool.
we all feel like going there. I think it really looks like there are a lot of chances to meet the locals and live like a local, isn't it, George? We have a question about travel for people with disabilities. Would the trail be suitable for visitors with different kinds of disabilities, George?
That's a very good question. Actually, along the segment that was developed with the different segments along the CrossDev project, at least one segment is good for disabilities. Now, what type of disabilities that we're talking about? The trail just hosted about 1 month ago a French delegation coming on Joualet. You know, Joualet, it is like, so there are 3 people with every person with disabilities, and there are different segments that are capable of taking the Joualet. So depends on what type of disability that we're talking about. For handicapped, there are different areas with the Joualet that is available. There is segment across the project that is friendly for people with disabilities, but also we need to know what type of disabilities that can travel, and that is important for us, and then we are happy to help.
Okay. Somebody, Miriam, is asking where they can find the recorded previous webinars, and I think Laura, Commerciale Turismo Italia, will send the registration, the records of the previous webinars. I also remind you all that the website hiddenmediterranean.net is like a source of information about all destinations, presenting different experiences, itineraries, and also contacts of all local partners and providers of tourism facilities. You will get an email with the previous webinars, so you will have a chance to look at them, to watch them.
Maybe I want to add, Nadia,
yes,
I want to add, along the hiddenmediterranean.net website, you'll find all of these experiences. So, and I think it's for us, people working in tourism, it is really very important that when we do responsible tourism, like what we are doing now, is that we are showing other people how much we share in terms of value and cultural heritage, and how much we share, and we are also revealing the human face of the people around the area, and the Mediterranean and globally. So I think this is really very important, and showing how much we share in terms of values, and how much of culture, and how much of the food, and how much of this. That's why Hidden Mediterranean can be a very good source for our partners, the tour operators.
Sure. Another question is about maps of the different segments of the Palestinian Heritage Trail. Are there any maps available for each segment? George?
If you allow me to share my screen again, I can show you.
Go ahead.
Excuse me 1 second. Let me just open this.
Yeah.
I need to close this. And just give me 1 second. I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, our CrossDev project, they are not online yet. It will be online soon. But let me share my screen, and so you get to see. All right? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So this is our website, and you can see the maps and everything. So once you go to our website, you go on explore the trail, and you can see, for example, in segments in Hebron, for example, you can see the map and all of this. So
great.
Yes. So and in every segment, you open it, you will find map, topo map, trail notes, elevation profile, and you will find level of difficulties and the length and everything.
Fantastic.
So Yes, this is all, and cross-dev information, we are working on them to be online to make a big launch of them.
Awesome. George, there are more questions about events. Are there any particular special events along the Heritage Trail?
Yes, sometimes. In fact, it depends on the season. Nowadays, for example, Hebron area is very famous with grapes, for example. So whenever we have the grapes, we have grapes festival. So we have different festival for the different products produced by the local villages, and they do a lot of these festivals and events, and they do it sometimes in the summer, sometimes depending where. Of course, it is a good time to visit the area of that we have developed during Christmas time and during Easter, because it's there are lots of festival and events that take place. In addition, there are many events, local events in the smaller communities that don't take place. And by the way, every delegation or every group walking in the village is an event by its own, because the local community will do something special to welcome people coming. And we are talking about marginalized destinations, and these destinations are eager to see more and more people coming, and tourism in these destinations is not a mainstream. It's a unique and special.
Okay, authentic experiences.
Yes,
I'm sure. Another question is about biking. Are there any segments of the trail where you can go by bicycle, or is it only for hiking?
well, we have been working on developing the biking trail. We know the map. We have waymarked only 50 kilometers of that trail, and we want to do it all, but this is more expensive, so we don't have the funds yet to do it all and to develop it. Palestine, as I explained earlier, is a rich of diversity of landscape. That's why it is also very rich for biking. But we didn't develop the biking more, but there are cycling. We have some of our guides who are cycling guides as well, so they can also help you with biking and so on. And some of them, they have the bikes and so on. And there are different organizations, non-profit organizations that also have bikes and then can promote the trail around the bikes. What will be nice later next year is to have a mixture between a biking and a hiking experience. People love it.
Yeah, sure. So it's a work in progress. I'm sure that the project will develop
Yes.
more and more opportunities.
Right.
So since there are no other questions, I would like to remind the attendees, the travel companies attending the webinar, that tomorrow we have the last webinar of this series of the PROSTER project, and it will be about Lebanon and the Musa Biosphere Reserve, and it will be tomorrow, December 1st at 12 p.m. So don't miss it to have a chance to win a fun trip to one of these 5 destinations. And now let me and there's a question maybe. No, there's a comment by Umbretta. Palestine seen today. What a surprise for us. Thank you for including us in this beautiful presentation, and wishing all the best for this project. There are many people thanking, so thank you, George. I thank you as well. Let me share a short video about the cross-dev destinations, and then we will say goodbye. Thank you, George, and let's watch this video.
I was once the known world. I harbored the life of man, from the borders of the Eastern kingdoms to the last Spanish land. Every coast I touch is a story, and the stories I sing belong to you. I am the guardian of rich trade and ancient traditions. I am the guide of the first travelers, the cradle of empires and knowledge. I am the muse. I have inspired mythologies and religions, united people in fruitful exchange. I preserve the rituals of dancers, the legends of fishermen, the folklore of musicians. I am witness to the greatest love stories, and when a feeling is born on my waves, it spreads throughout time. I am the secrets. I have fostered the desire to explore for millennia, and still today the path is the same. No need to introduce me. You know me well. You have already traveled my routes. But believe me, there is still much to discover along the lands I brush past. I am the sense. I am the smile of the guardian and the aroma of the bread. You find me from Beit Mirsim to Batir, along the wonders of the Palestinian Heritage Trail. I am the hospitality that dwells on the Via Selinuntina, in the sharp scent of cinnamon and the sweet fragrance of the vineyard. My winds grace the Yarmouk Reserve and the paths of the Jabal Musa biosphere, where the mountains still retain my scent. I am history. I am the Roman theater in the heart of Jordan and the Arab quarter in Sicily. I am the union and the bond. I am Kais and I am Sambuca. I protect the memory of man in the archaeology of Selinunte, in the castles and in the port of Aqaba, where my kingdom meets that of other seas. I am the journey. I am the primal emotion, the perfect need. I am the means to find but without seeking. I am the corner of the world where the sun and the moon converge. I am the heritage of man and the pattern of freedom. I am one immense place, and I am many stories. I will also be yours. I am the Mediterranean.
Okay, thank you again, George, for letting us discover this beautiful destination, which is a hidden destination, but a real gem to discover. And thank you all the travel companies and travel agents that attended the webinar today. See you tomorrow at the last webinar about the Jabal Musa Biosphere Reserve in Lebanon. And have a good day. See you.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.